Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 13, episode 4, and today we continue our debut season back in England, and we've got a real chance to keep ourselves in the title race and in the hunt for our first big trophy. So it's Chelsea v Tottenham first up in the Premier League. We've sort of fallen away a little bit the last few games. We're certainly not having a bad time of it, it's just a couple of draws and drop points in that sense. But we are probably showing why we're not going to win the league and why the two Manchester clubs will eclipse us. But our job is to make sure we keep the chasing pack at bay. Liverpool and Arsenal have had poor starts. Tottenham not quite on the ball, and Everton and Leeds the surprises, but can they really sustain it? So for us, third is now the target. We said fourth beforehand, we think third's achievable now. But if we lose games like this Tottenham one, that puts us in trouble. I mean, having said all that, we've lost the least games of anyone in the league, and if we win this today, we're top of the league with the same games played. But perhaps more important on all of that, and where we have a team selection dilemma, is the game coming up in 3 days' time. We're going away to Manchester United in the Carabao Cup Quarter Final, and I said I really want to attack this competition, get off to a good foot, start winning silverware. We've still got that board criticism there, despite the fact we've barely lost a game since we joined. In fact, that one league game is the only game we've lost. We're still in every cup. We won the Europa League group with 18 points. I don't know what more we can do. I'm hoping United will rest players. They had a game one day earlier, but they're right up there as well, and they're in the Champions League. So surely the Carabao Cup, not as important to them. But that's all to be seen later in the episode. We'll be firstly looking at our recent results and our youth intake preview as well. There's some good signs in both of those. So if you're looking forward to this one, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below and turn those notifications on. And thank you very much for your support as always. And we'll start, before we even look at the results, with the youth intake preview, because if we're going to be here for a few years to try and build a legacy, to try and win the Champions League, to try and win the Premier League, we need to keep having good youth players coming through. And for this one, it says there's a good group of players coming through. Not perfect, but a good group, and that's what we want to see. So there's lots of fullbacks, but not many are good, and the same applies to wingbacks as well. We haven't got any defensive midfielders, but it looks like there's an attacking player who's going to be quality. So a young English striker from Tonbridge and a forward who could be considered a fine prospect. If those two are the same players, we've got a good English striker coming through. And the other slight good news on that one, if I just quickly take you to the loans, one of the players who was sent out late in the window was Neil Waters, and I was planning on keeping him for the Europa League squad. But he's now managed to go from 1.5 to 2.5 star ability. So next season, he's probably going to be quite involved. I might even retrain him as a right back because he's good in the tackle. And he's really promising. So I'm delighted that he's doing well over in Holland. And hopefully we'll have a good player on our hands next year. But of course, next episode will be the transfer window. There'll be a lot to cover at that point. For us, we just want to quickly have a look at our recent results. So you're with me as we play former club Burnley in the Carabao Cup and Manchester United in a pretty dull Premier League game, bar that horrendous tackle from nowhere. But since then, we've done really well. A couple of draws away from home against decent sides, but otherwise a very good run overall, and we've stayed unbeaten. So at home to Burnley in the Premier League, Ed Seekins did score against us, our former hero at Gladbach, our previous club, but there were goals galore for us. 2 for Mila, 2 for Fathi, 2 for Harper, and 1 for Yepes. And that was followed up by a 3-0 win for our backup side. That was away at Young Boys, which sealed our qualification. Rushford, Mila and Gross with 1 apiece. Gross obviously played because he was still suspended. A 1-1 draw away at Everton. An individual error cost us a goal early on, but Hakimi got the equaliser before the break. We just couldn't get the breakthrough second half. A 2-0 win in the return fixture against Slovan Bratislava. Ramos and Mila, the two backup strikers, with a goal each. A 3-0 win at home to Wolves. Gross, Angerin and Mila broke Wolves down. They frustrated us for nearly 75 minutes and then we finally got on the front foot. A 1-1 draw away at West Ham, Zenet Gross having to save us late on before a convincing 4-2 win away at Leicester. We were 3-0 up at half time. Got a little bit arrogant, if anything, but Serrano wrapped it up off the bench late on. And then a 1-0 win at home to Hibs. A very rotated side in this one. None of the players that will feature today. And Marcus Rashford with the winning goal, which kept our perfect record in the Europa League. So we finished the group on 18 points. Young Boys actually got through on 7, and that defeat cost Hibs the chance to go through. So Scottish football hating us today. But we've now got 2 big games coming up. No one missing for us today. But that big game in 3 days' time, I've got to think about squad selection. I'm hoping United will rotate in the Carabao Cup, but that doesn't mean a lot if we go into it in bad form. So we've got to try and get a side that won't be tired for midweek, and we've got to try and keep everyone fit. Let's see if we can do it. So to be fair, because of the football we've been playing, and because of the fact that we were able to rest everyone in the Europa League, all the players bar one are 98% fit. That man is Harper, who by the way has gone from 3 to 4.5 star ability and is improving very quickly, now world class. And at 22, possibly looks like a very good replacement for Bellingham, so I might have to eat my words there. Though I'd still rather have had Bellingham than Yepes in this central midfield role here. But for us, it's a really good side. It's our strongest 11. And in full, it's DJ Akobe in goal, Hakimi and Vinagre the fullbacks, with Abdullah and Al Jahani centre-half, Yepes and aforementioned Harper in central midfield, Mendes, Angerin and Fathi on the wings, and Gross up front. The likes of Serrano, Rashford, Mila, Ramos even, all great game changers on the bench. Artur's good enough technically to give a rest to Harper for half an hour. We've also got to think about the right wing here, because Mendes not doing as well recently, and to be honest, his star rating's dropped, whereas Serrano, the other right winger, hasn't. So he's now actually considered the best, and I'd be tempted to bring him in today, but given his physicality, I think he'll be important on the road, so he'll probably play midweek instead. But let's go and get into it. It's Chelsea v Tottenham, a London derby at the Bridge, and let's see if we can get off to a good start in this episode and stay in that title race. 4-4-2. It is a brilliant lineup for Tottenham. They've got a lot of youth in there. They've still got Max Aarons at right back. Maximiano in goal. I forgot about that. He was with us at Gladbach last year and got sold to Tottenham in January, and he's now between the sticks for them. Not as good as DJ Akobe, but a very solid keeper. I'm kind of hoping he'll have a minute for them today, like he did for us against Bayern Munich. So we're going to ask the lads to get motivated. We're going to leave Yepes on the Mazzala on attack for now, but we will drop it to support if needed. We'll see how the first 20 pans out. Let's get into it and see how we get on. Well, early on, no real highlights, no real quality at all, and Hakimi picks the ball up at right back to Al Jahani. Let's see if we can build a good attack from the back. There was space over on the left, but he went right instead, and here's Mendes, who he thought about dropping, went alone and hits the side netting. But a good promising run early on there. Still no shots on target for either side. It's been a very even start to the match. Though you could argue from those stats, Tottenham are on top. So let's just drop Yepes to support. Try and get a bit of a foothold in this game. And after this highlight, we'll demand more. As Maximiano is playing out from the back. The centre-halves are pressed. It's something we're very good at, but Spurs have beaten it on this occasion. Aarons finds his winger Trellis. Over the top to Panda, who's beaten the central defender. Abdullah's out to him. Good block. Back to Trellis. Now Aarons. Delivers in. Headed away as far as Angerin. And it's flicked on to Rizzo. He finds Neto. Still ruthless attacking from Tottenham. Out to Aarons and Trellis, who are causing a lot of trouble on that right. Harper's closing them this time, but it finds Trellis in the box to Volpe, and he heads just wide. Hakimi beaten in the air, and we need a lot more from this Chelsea side. As DJ Akobe plays straight out from the goal kick. Abdullah to Al Jahani. That's the good thing having Abdullah there as a central midfielder. He's so confident on the ball. And he finds Mendes on the right, who's charging at the defence again. To Hakimi, the wing-back. He's got two inside him, one of them is the winger, but delivers himself to Fathi, and it's headed just over the bar. We'll demand more, but that's much more promising, though still no shot on target for the home team. Half an hour gone, corner kick, in-swinger from Mendes, Gross heads down, Fathi hits the post. I thought he was offside, it has eventually been given. But that was a warning sign, we really should have got a goal there. And we're now on top, so that little tactical tweak has made a difference. But Spurs on the front foot again, they're not giving up here. Looks like a good game between two good sides. We're starting to struggle to get a foothold here as Tavares puts one just wide. It's a really good effort from the edge of the box, but we survive it in the end, and it looks like Tottenham are back on the front foot as Panda puts a free kick in. DJ Akobe does absolutely brilliantly there. Two Tottenham players on him, and he claims it perfectly. And he finds Abdullah with quick distribution. He goes to the left wing to Fathi, who's taking on the fullback. Delivery's blocked to Harper. Back into the middle, he's got two out left, one of them is Fathi again, into Gross, edge of the box to Harper, good switch to Hakimi, at the byline, the wing-back, delivers in, Fathi's there, hits over again, oh he's missed another one. This is really strange, it's an end-to-end match, it's brilliant quality from both sides, and we're playing out again with Angerin here as we've worked out from a defensive throw-in. Angerin on the left, back to Harper, time on the ball, and he's got two ahead, but goes back to Angerin. Chance to shoot, finds Harper again though. Switches right to Hakimi, it's been his favourite pass. Hakimi delivers, Gross loses out, falls for Yepes. Into Harper. He's got a man out left, goes to Fathy, now Angerin. Back to Harper again. That ball to Fatty, that had to be the breakthrough. Oh, it's tipped behind, it's a good save, Maximiano. We know he's got that in his locker. But we're wasting good chances now. Mendes delivers the corner. Gross heads in. That's a bullet header. He just wanted it more than the defender. And on a stroke of half time, we finally lead. It is Chelsea 1, Spurs 0. And there we go then. The half-time whistle. Zdeněk Gross, who'd had a pretty quiet game, got that goal on a stroke of half time. We're going to ask the lads to prove a point. We don't want them slipping off here. Fathy hasn't been great in the air. And it's not really his area of expertise. So I might bring Rushford on soon. Because Rushford is someone who is pretty decent. Or he's pretty tall, I should say. And as a striker, he's a more natural finisher. Here's Trellis to Neto. Tottenham early on the front foot in the second half. To Rizzo. Neto. Into Panda. That's a good ball for Volpe. There's 3 in the middle here. We've got to be careful. Harper hacks clear. And Fathy will keep it in here. Aaron's just lost his concentration there. And now we've got a counter on. Here's Fathy down the left-hand side, into Harper. Had a really good game so far, and he finds that ball again, but it's intercepted. Yepes to Mendes, though. Keeps the ball, and he's challenged eventually. Probably a little slow there. It's such a good game. It's end-to-end stuff. Aravalo's into the opposition area now. He delivers to Panda, and it's 1-1. And to be honest, over the course of the game, Spurs have deserved that. We're really a little bit poor defensively, and we've not taken our chances. We deserve to be level. And I'm not actually going to wait any longer. Fathy's been that bad that I'm going to bring on Marcus Rashford. Let's just see if it makes a difference. Mendes has picked up a knock, so we'll just see out this highlight and then we'll replace him with Serrano. It's Harper who's picked the ball up again though. Good through ball to Zdeněk Gross. 3 in the middle if he can find them. Back to Harper. Shots blocked. Falls for Angerin. And he puts it in for 2-1. The substitution will be made. Serrano comes on the right wing. But we're back in front with an hour gone. It's Chelsea 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Just over a quarter of the game to go. And we're back with Volpe on the left-hand side. We're really struggling defensively in this game. And he's beaten another sliding challenge into Aravalo, who clears it. And now Harper gets it away downfield. I wanted to work out what tactic Tottenham were going with. It's a flat 4-4-2, so I'm not sure why the fullbacks are struggling so much. I'm going to bring on Ortega for Vinagre, who's had a poor game. And we'll try and see it out for the last 15. 10 minutes to go. Tottenham have a defensive throw-in, and we don't want to let them play out here. After this highlight, we will drop to balance, but Tottenham have beaten the press again. Back to the keeper, and now wide to Max Aarons. He's got a man overlapping. That's Ronnie, and he's dropped back to him, and Aarons is on the run again here. But it's inside to the central midfield area. Neto finds Aarons the third time, though. He's beaten the fullback, and it's a good block, recovering from Ortega, though Ronnie goes alone into the box. And his shot saved is straight down the throat of Digiacobe. We're going to drop to balance in a minute, but again, Tottenham have won it back high up the pitch. And Volpe can bring it away on the left. Back pass to the goalkeeper. Into the right back. Heleno under pressure. Goes back to Maximiano. And out to Aarons, the wing back. He's got a chance to come down the pitch here. It's just a brilliant game of football. No matter what happens, it has been two very good sides. Tottenham must not play like this every week, or they'd be far closer to the top of the table. As Trellis finds Volpe on the left wing. Possibly raising a game for a London derby, a big match. As Volpe's gone in alone, that's a great effort just wide. We will now drop to balanced, but we have had a fair few scares in this match so far. As we've got a free kick at centre-half with Abdullah. To Ortega. Inside to Harper. Over the halfway line to Angerin. A man on the left, but instead goes back to Harper, and he switches it to Hakimi, his favourite pass. Serrano can't get there as it's one in the air, and Volpe has skinned the whole team again. Where's the defence gone? Where on earth did the defence go? That is pathetic defending. They just ran away from him. I'm going to put the wing-backs on defend. Harper will go into defend as well. Serrano drops to support. We play out from the goal kick with Digiacobe. It's a good ball to Harper. He finds Angerin. That's a lovely reverse pass. Serrano's wide, but he holds on to it too long. He's lucky the challenge still falls to Serrano. Into the box, beats 2. Into the box to Rashford. Heads in for 3-1. The super sub works. Rashford scores where Fathy failed a number of times. And surely that wraps up this London derby. A brilliant game of football. And we're into the 6th minute of 5 added on. As Rashford into the box again, beats the challenge, has to be a penalty. He may not have connected, but he came flying in from distance. And that has to be a penalty kick, which it is. Marcus Rashford will take it. He's already scored one off the bench, and to be honest, 4-1 is so harsh on Tottenham. But we've got that quality on the break, so when teams chase it, we get goals. And Rashford has scored his second. It is Chelsea 4, Tottenham 1. And the perfect start to this episode in the end, despite a number of scares. And now on to United in the Carabao Cup Quarter Final. There we go then, a very good display. We appreciate the efforts and we move on to the next one. We'll be back in a moment for that big game in 3 days' time. Can we stay in the hunt for trophies? Here we go then, quarter final time. Both of the Manchester clubs in action tonight, one of them United against us. This is going to be a tough test. I'm hoping they'll rest people, but we've got physical problems too. Everyone's fit apart from the two lads who got knocks in the last game. So we're going to have to make some slight tweaks. Firstly, Gross will have to drop into attacking midfield with Will Miller going up front for Angerin. And then on the right, Serrano will come in for Mendes, which doesn't really weaken us at all. Ben Godfrey can come onto the bench. But the 7th sub, it doesn't really leave us with a great deal of strength in depth. So we have got a couple in the 23s, but they're not available to play. And you also have to think now, at quarter-final stage, do we start to think about putting a goalkeeper on? Which I think we have to today. So that's our 11. 2 changes. Will Miller in. Gross drop into attacking midfield. Angerin drops out due to a lack of fitness. And then the same for Mendes, but a straight swap with Serrano. And then onto the bench comes Ben Godfrey. Let's get into the game. It's the quarter-final of the Cup. Can we get one step closer to our first trophy at Chelsea? It hasn't quite gone to plan here. United have got pretty much their first 11 out. They've got Kai Havertz in the number 10 and Pardew's come in, a former Chelsea youth player at centre-half. And there's a lot of world-class talent there and a lot of first-team players. So there's some concerns, I've got to say. We've both gone nearly as strong as possible and we both clearly won a trophy. And it's similar to real life, really. You've got 4 trophies if you include Europe and 6 sides normally chasing them. So everyone's got to go for them. So with just our 2 changes, we're into the first half. We are going to drop Yepes to a support duty and hopefully not concede from the first highlight. But let's see how we get on. It's Navarro at left back. Bayer into Havertz. Nicked by Harper. Brilliant start for him to Yepes. Now Gross. Harper again. Chance to switch the play, but just goes short to Al Jahani and he goes all the way back to the keeper. What I'm a bit concerned about is we're seeing this highlight from kickoff. So surely it's going to lead to something. Here's Hakimi into Yepes. Now Serrano. Gross picks it up. Good football. And he's going forward. He's got space here. Gross to the edge. Oh, it's on the line and it's saved. Rue brings it down and then clears it with his feet for some reason. But a good start for the away side and a good start for our Chelsea team. And we're back with Borges in a dangerous position coming into our half. Out to Bayer. And Hakimi's been caught out here. Into the box. Paredes' shot's blocked. Back to Bayer again. His shot just wide of the post. And there wasn't a great deal of defensive quality there. United on top and they've got another free kick here in a dangerous position. Bayer will take it, the left winger. It's a great effort, but DJ Akobe saves. And are we going to see anything else? Is he going to roll it out? He probably is here. He's got Abdullah. Let's see if we can build an attack. To Al Jahani. Out to the right hand side to Hakimi. Now Yepes. Back to Al Jahani again. There is no rush for us to go forward. We're finding the right opportunity. As Yepes plays back to centre-half again. And we're just keeping it, probably in our own third still at the moment. And eventually it's all the way back to the keeper. Now I'm all for the passing game. And if this leads to something special, I'll cheer it. As we've broken free with Serrano. And now Gross. Miller's running off him, but he's been forced wide. Gross into Miller. His shot hits the post. And then it hits the keeper's head and goes wide for a corner. What an attack that was. It was patient. And then when it needed to be, the tempo changed. It was penetrative. But unfortunately, it didn't get us the goal. Juninho breaking free. Down the right-hand side to Paredes. The centre-forward holds it up. Good closing down, but it's back into Bayer. Where on earth did the defence go? It's a brilliant save by the Italian goalkeeper. But what on earth happened to the rest of the back 4? It's Juninho to take the corner. Into the front post. Harper heads away. And it looks like this episode will be quite long because it is 2 end-to-end matches. We're going to drop to a balanced mentality. Demand a bit more. Let's see if we get a response. Throwing on the right to United seems to be the same pattern so far as Capelli finds Juninho again. Capelli on the right. We've had a few of these performances this season where we've just been able to hold teams off and then nick one on the break. And Will Miller's trying to do that now. Pass 2 on the left, into the box. And Pardew challenges really easily. Long ball forward, only finds Al Jahani. He's got 2 with him, one's Hakimi. Inside to Harper, the playmaker, and he goes wide to Serrano. Into the box again. To the byline delivers. Fatty there, and his header's off the line. The rebound's blocked. Mila picks it up, and he's challenged. Oh, this is just not happening today. United have had more territory, more chances, but we've definitely had the best ones. Though having said that, with 3 minutes to go to half time, it's still United 0, Chelsea 0. And we need a big second half performance here. We're going to ask to prove a point. We hope United will chase it with 10 or 15 to go and we can catch them on the break, as we have so often in the Premier League. Just a quarter to go. No chances in the second half yet. So Fathy's going to be replaced by Rushford for the second time in this episode. And we'll leave the last two for now. Just under 15 minutes left and we've still got no sign of a goal. So as a result, Ramos is coming on. Zenit Gross will go up front and Ramos will be the number 10. I just need to check the penalty rating when I do that. Ramos, is he better than Mila? They're both rubbish, to be brutally honest. We've already lost Fathy, who's a very good penalty taker, but Rashford arguably better. Of the substitutes, I think Artur is the best penalty taker. 15 is his rating. So we might have to worry about that in 10 minutes. But for now, we're going to try and get the winner still. Throwing on the left to United, and this would be a sickening way to lose it. It is in the balance as Ricardo picks it up. Switch of play, Rashford heads away. Only as far as Capelli though, and United have got a man over on the right. But we've been forced wide, Havertz gets it in, Al-Jahani intercepts. Yepes to Serrano, here's the counter opportunity. We had Serrano in for that pace, and he's gone all the way back. He's got that pace, he should be taking people on. It goes wide to Hakimi, and Serrano again. And he's lost it. He's been mugged in possession for the second time. What on earth's he doing there? Into the box, his penalty taking rating's 3. I've never seen that in a quality player like him. Yepes to Hakimi. Into the middle. Oh, he's lost it too. But Yepes breaks free. Gross is 1-on-1. Zenit Gross. Oh, it's saved. He had to score, surely. Zenit Gross. And he's wasted a golden opportunity. How on earth have we missed that? Here's Rashford again with an outswinging delivery. 2 minutes plus stoppage time to go. And he's headed away as far as Ramos, the substitute. Back to Harper. Into Abdullah. We don't want to lose it here. We've got men caught upfield. And it's now a United free kick with a minute to go. Mason Greenwood to take it. Still at United after all this time. And forces a brilliant save from the goalkeeper. Oh, this is too much to take. Juninho delivers. Ramos heads away. Back out to the corner taker again though. Juninho's cross is blocked. Brilliant defending. And we're going to make our change. Yepes will go to the right wing just for a couple of minutes. Artur on in central midfield. He'll be a deep line playmaker as well. He can go on to defend. Is he better defensively or Harper? No, Harper is. So Harper on defend. Artur on support. And let's just have a solid base for a few minutes. Wing backs on defend as well. And let the front four go wild. Juninho's got the throw in. 3.5 minutes of stoppage time to play. Capelli picks it up. Harper nicks it. Get rid of it, please. No, dodgy back pass. DG Akobe, you've done the right thing there. Just hoofs it out for a throw. Didn't even try to play forward. We'll drop Yepes to a winger on support. We just need to get there now because United are on top late on. And they've got another attacking throw. 2.5 minutes to go. Juninho to Capelli. First cross is blocked. Falls for Greenwood. Into Havertz. Hits the post. It's on the line. Oh, it's all over the place. DG Akobe finally picks it up. How on earth did that not go in? It's penalty kicks in the Carabao Cup Quarter Final. Rashford, Artur, Vinagre, Gross and Yepes are our 5. The Carabao Cup Quarter Final is down to penalties. Marcus Rashford, against the club where it all started and he spent nearly all of his career, has had it saved. Oh, it's the perfect penalty for a goalkeeper. You've got to ask if that's deliberate. Havertz, he scores into the corner. Oh, the first chance at a trophy's gone, isn't it? Artur's the only other good penalty taker. If he doesn't score, it's over. Artur to Shaw. Here he goes into the corner. Good penalty kick. Experience telling there. And now we need some heroics from the Italian. And he's against a fellow countryman in Capelli. Left-footed, steps up. Come on, DG Akobe. Saves down to his left. Brilliant goalkeeping. 1-1 after 2 apiece. And now it's Ruben Vinagre. Oh dear, I can't be dealing with this too often this season. Vinagre's penalty is straight at the goalkeeper. Absolutely woeful. Greenwood steps up. This goalkeeper better do something special. He's already done one. Can't do a second. United back on top with 3 penalties taken. And to be honest, you can't ask much more from him. Zenet Gross has had a really poor game, missed a couple of gilt-edged chances, put his penalty in though. Back on terms, but United have taken one less. Juninho is the man to step up. The name suggests he'll be a good penalty taker. But Kobe, heroics needed, heroics produced! Right down in the bottom corner, tips it round the post. And in the fifth penalty, it's essentially sudden death now. Yepes steps up. Please score. Not the best penalty taker. Oh! It has gone under the goalkeeper. He should have saved that. And now the pressure's on United for the first time. Ethan Ampadu against the club he played his youth career at. I know he was at Exeter before, but he spent most of his youth career at Chelsea. And he has to score now against the Italian goalkeeper, or we have made it through to the semi-final. Come on, keeper. It's into the corner. Sudden death is now taking place. Here's Robson Ramos stepping up for our sixth. Saved. And that's probably it, isn't it? Kobe must save here if United score their through. And to be honest, Rashford and Ramos, two of our attacking substitutes, have had their penalty saved. Rashford's supposed to be the best penalty taker at the club. It's a real letdown, and I'm a bit worried about that because it was against United where he spent his whole career. Here's Navarro with the penalty kick, the deciding one for United. If he scores, the home side are through, and they are. Our first chance of the trophy is gone. And it is the most sickening way and the cruelest way to lose out. Our best penalty taker costs us it. And a United fan, a United boy, that's something for me to worry about. Manchester United threw on penalties and we're out of the Carabao Cup. There's the confirmation then. I'm aware it's been a longer episode due to the 2 games we've had. So let's quickly see when we'll next be back. Definitely going to be one of these games at the end or start of a transfer window. And then we'll have the deadline day as well. Our director of football's in charge. Hopefully he'll produce some magic. But if you did enjoy this episode, a brilliant league display and then bitter disappointment in the Carabao Cup, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you think will happen in January, which players are most likely to leave and join the club. And subscribe down below for daily FM20 content, a weekly live stream series every Tuesday morning, and much more across the channel. Please do check out the podcast in the eye above as well. Predictions, podcasts, interviews, there's all sorts of content over there. And a big thanks for your support as always. I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.